Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be talking about how Jayden Daniels is already hard at work for the Washington Commanders. I'll be talking about an insane story from John Keim's article about Jayden Daniels and a little bit of a number update for Daniels and talking about some of the other rookies as well. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well. We're trying to hit 13K subs in the next couple weeks, so please help me do it. It's free and it takes 1 second. All right, so let's get into it. And I saw a tweet talking about a little bit of a story from this article about Jayden Daniels, and it got me really, happy and feeling better. I mean, I already felt good about the pick, but it even, made me feel better about this pick and more confident in the type of player we have in Jayden Daniels and the type of person, hard worker, and he's going to do everything he can to be a franchise quarterback for the Washington Commanders. He's always got that hat on. We've seen it, on him every picture we see and of him. We're still waiting for the number, what it's going to be. There's been some clues, but then there's also been some conflicting stuff, so we really don't know what the number is going to be. 5 is what a lot of people want it to be. Trustway's got 5, so that's just something that they're going to have to work out. Besides 5, I don't really know a number that would be great for him. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's go into the story real quick. So this is part of John Keim's story. I'll try to link it down below. But during his private plane ride home after his news conference in Washington, Jayden Daniels, surrounded by family and friends, spent an hour of the trip pretending to stand at the line of scrimmage, calling out checks or plays that he already knew from the Commanders playbook. And I just think that's so cool and just shows the type of guy he is. He's going to do everything it takes to be able to know the plays and be the best quarterback he can be. And that that's part of it. It's, you can do all that and still not be great, but it is a huge thing that in the past some of our quarterbacks haven't been able to go or haven't been willing to go that extra mile, do that extra work, and be super committed. And Jayden Daniels is doing that and hopefully continues to do that, but he also is very talented as well. So you combine those two, and you see right here, someone said, I read somewhere that LSU had to change policies for their facilities because he was staying there from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. grinding. He's absolutely obsessed with the process, and I love it. And you love to see that. Obviously, you want your guy to get a break, once in a while. You don't want him to, completely exhaust himself. But for him to literally on the plane back from his opening press conference and day after the draft, for him to already be at the line of scrimmage, and this is at the plane, or pretending he's at the line of scrimmage on a plane, calling the plays. If he's doing that already, or if he's doing this already, imagine what he's going to do when he has all of his plays, when he has, when he's with his teammates, and he's going to, first off, you want him to, be able to lock in himself. But I'm sure after he locks in, his work ethic and, his teammates seeing him do this is going to gravitate towards them as well. And I think, hopefully it's the start of something here with the Washington players where they work. I mean, of course, they're athletes. They're always working hard. But, there's some athletes that work even harder than others. And, sometimes that's what it takes. And Jayden Daniels is doing that. And I think he's going to get some of these receivers and stuff to work with him a lot this offseason. And we might not see it. He's not a type of guy that's going to publicly post about. I mean, he might post about it sometimes, but he's not going to be posting every single workout he does or every single charity thing he does. He's a quiet guy, it seems like. And I'm just really excited about what he can do here in Washington. So I'm going to go over the story a little bit from Keim, and you guys can read the whole thing. I'll make sure to put the link in the description. But it's basically talking about Jayden Daniels, what went into them picking him, and what he's going to be, what he's going to do here for the Washington Commanders. So this is just someone saying, he told them, according to one person in the room, they're getting a young man who loves football and would help them change this franchise forever, hoping that is the case. Then according to the source, Peters finally said, we're going with Jayden. They're just talking about what happened on draft night. It was like a room of joy, said a person who was there. It put everybody at ease. So that's kind of, talked about that a little bit. And it seems like J.J. McCarthy was the second choice over Drake May. So I'm happy they made that pick. They stayed with Jayden. instead of, J.J. McCarthy. I would not have been happy with that pick. And, Drake May would have been okay, but still, I do prefer Jayden Daniels. He was my quarterback 2 in this class. You see some other stuff here. I'm just going through it. He did talk with, there was something, let me pull it up here. He talked with Kyle Shanahan and Brandon Ayuk, and both of them gave a ringing endorsement of Jayden Daniels. Or at least Brandon Ayuk did, and then Kyle kind of gave his approval and gave him a glowing review. So, it's good that you have someone like Kyle Shanahan who has done well evaluating quarterbacks in the past. I mean, Trey Lance is an exception. Don't know who was the one who really wanted him, if it was Kyle or if it was John Lynch, but he, played a big part in, getting Purdy, and, also I believe Kirk Cousins and Russell. Like, he wanted to draft Russell Wilson when it happened, and they got Kirk Cousins as well. So when he was in Washington, he played a part in that. So he is, he does have an eye for talent. It's not always going to work, but it is good to see, him giving his, a glowing review. And then same thing with Ayuk, and that's expected. It's a former teammate and a close friend. But it's good that Peters has these guys to lean on to, and he's not just thinking he's that guy and he's the only one. He should be making the decision completely on him, by himself without any input from others. Obviously, at the end of the day, he's making the decision, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't get input from a bunch of other guys, and that's what he's been doing, and I really, really like that approach, and I think it's a good approach to have, especially when you're a first-time GM. You're a first-time GM, you don't completely know how the process goes, or you haven't done it before, so it might take you a little bit of time, and it's good to get input from other people as well. And they did have Jayden Daniels as their number 1 quarterback in this class, or that's what they said. They had him over Caleb Williams. Don't know how true that is. I wouldn't be surprised if he is their quarterback 1 over Caleb Williams. I really like Jayden. We've talked about it a ton, so I don't need to talk about it too much, but during his meeting with the Commanders, or interview, he was, he sat up in his chair, was dialed in, he knows his stuff. It was his body language. He perked up, and another person said you could see Jayden just lights up when the tape comes on. You can't fake that. He just goes, yeah, let's talk football. It was authentic. So he's a football guy, and he knows his stuff. He's gonna watch film. He's gonna work hard. I think this story right here, or this little quote, where is it? Just shows that, and it shows that it shouldn't be an issue with a work ethic for Jayden Daniels, and that is really important, at least to have one of those boxes checked off for your quarterback. You don't have to worry about that, because that is a part of it. It's not everything. You still got to have the talent. You still got to have the right mindset, which seems like he has. You got to stay healthy, which hopefully happens with Jayden Daniels, knock on wood. But just, it's a bunch of combined things, but to have we know the person's good, and he's going to be locked in. And, you hear a bunch of these types of stories from Jayden Daniels, and a bunch of other good stuff, like off the field stuff, like charity work and stuff like that, where he doesn't take credit for. He'll drop whatever he has to do and go to a hospital and spend 4 or 5 hours with, kids, and he doesn't even, no one finds out about it, because he's just doing it, to do good in the world. So that's another thing I love about Jayden Daniels. So, number real quick. This was, on JP Finley's podcast, he said he played golf with Tress and refers to him as the old number 5. Could that be hinting at, Tress giving him number 5? Could be. But maybe, I saw another tweet saying that he was signing autographs, and that he said this is going to be one of the last times I sign with number 5. So who knows what it's going to be. I think 5 would be tough. I think 1 would be good, but you got Jahan there. 2 would be fine. You got Diami there, but honestly, come on now. Like, Jayden Daniels versus Diami Brown, like, if he wants 2, give him 2. I think that would be fine as well. But 5 would be tough. 5 would be tough for sure. But we'll see if Tressway gives it up. If he doesn't, I'm sure he would be willing to give it up, but maybe Jayden wants another number, maybe a fresh start. We'll see. But that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and peace.